This episode of Boss Rush After Dark is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support our family of podcasts, head over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia or search for us on the Patreon app on your smart device. Thanks for helping us build something better.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the Boss Rush Network. I am your host, LeRon Dawkins, and back with me, as always, are my wonderful co-hosts, the one and only Stephanie Klima.
Good evening, friends.
Good evening. How goes it?
It goes well. I'm torturing both my cats tonight. I treat them equally. Don't shove your butthole in my face.
We're gonna see Stephanie get mauled in the face tonight.
By the way, I was talking about Luce's butthole in my ears. Anyway.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Thank goodness humans don't do that.
What?
No.
Never mind. Also back with us tonight is always the man, Corey Derrick. What's up?
Hi.
Buttholes.
I don't know.
Face.
Look, that's the second time I've been surprised today by butts, so I just,
Hey, wait a second. I just realized something.
Uh-oh.
Do we have baby news? Matt and his wife are supposed to have the baby today.
Yep, they did.
Oh,
Matt.
yes. Congrats to Matt Steele and his wife.
Yeah. So, yeah, he messaged me earlier today and told me everything. I know he doesn't want some of that stuff public, but he did have his baby, and it's very exciting. I'm very happy for him. I know they've been trying for a while.
Oh, snap. If you didn't want it public, well, shit. You know what you should do?
No, he announced that they had the baby, but I mean, like, the
Specifics.
name and everything.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
he announced it on Twitter, so I mean, it's public. It's out there.
Sending
I didn't
vibes.
see it. I didn't see it. I
Well, you're a
probably need to turn on
terrible friend,
notifications.
LeRon.
I need to turn on notifications for him.
It's fine.
So, my friends, it's another wonderful Wednesday night.
Mhm.
It is Wednesday night. It has been the longest Wednesday ever made.
Yeah,
And
I'm sorry if I've been a killjoy this entire week. In the chat,
This
like,
week?
I feel like I just have not been, like, being
responsive
friendly.
at all, jerk.
Yeah, that's well.
You
well,
won't return my text?
Wait, were you specifically like texting me?
No, but
Okay, I was about to say, damn, I'm about to feel bad.
No, we all go through the ringer like that, and as long as you're hanging in there, okay, and you let us know if there's anything we could do to support you. I mean, hopefully whoever
Wait
is
a
harassing.
damn minute.
See,
Uh-oh.
here he goes. First, he
There he
doesn't
goes.
return our texts, and now he interrupts us. You know what? I
Yep.
don't feel bad anymore.
no.
LeRon.
Classic LeRon.
No. Well, okay. So pre-show, I was talking to Stephanie and Corey here about gift ideas to get my boyfriend because his birthday is coming up this coming Friday. So I still have an Amazon tab open, and I was just kind of like looking at the little thing, the thing that auto scrolls, like to get your attention.
Yeah.
And guess what just got my fucking attention?
What?
The hardcover edition of The Art of DuckTales.
Woo.
Like I'm gonna tell you right now,
The new
Donald
one
Duck,
or the old
the
one?
Donald Duck universe is my thing. Yeah, this is the new one. The Donald Duck universe though is my thing in Disney. Like like that's honestly probably half the reason why I even started playing Kingdom Hearts. But like shit, like
Fate.
I've been going to bed with the TV on playing DuckTales reruns.
Aw.
DuckTales. Woo.
Woo.
Yeah. So
I
like this caught my eye, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
I really like.
But
that
you want to
new
know
one.
something? As much like I've called myself like a Donald Duck like fan for like the Donald Duck family fan for like forever, right? I just now learned how to distinguish Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
What are you talking about? They all wear different colors.
Yeah. Okay. Which one's Huey?
The red one.
Which one's Dewey?
The blue one. And Huey's the green one. Silence. Uh,
Look, man. Just because you're a big old Disney nerd, like
hey man, you can't.
Can't
I don't
beat the
know.
master.
Yeah,
you.
I
You
don't know
Disney,
where I
you
was
Disney
going.
people make me sick. I don't know. I don't know which ones are worse: Disney, Star Wars, or freaking or freaking Nintendo. I don't know which one's worse. Like
Oh,
y'all,
well, you've
you
got two of
people,
three in here,
you
so
people.
you people.
Wow, I don't appreciate you using those words, LeRon. That's very inflammatory.
I don't know why, but I just thought of that really racist part in Tropic Thunder of what do you mean you people? And then
What do
Yeah.
you mean, you people?
yeah. Oh man, that movie would never be made today.
No,
Oh, I'm shocked it was
no.
actually,
made when it was.
actually, you know what's funny about that? Somebody wrote an op-ed about Robert Downey Jr.'s part in Tropic Thunder, and you
Mhm.
know what? It actually made absolute sense. Like like it's like the part wasn't racist because like he was not playing a person in blackface. He was playing an actor that was portraying somebody in blackface. And
Mm.
they broke down the logic and stuff because like I never really found it offensive. Like I trust me, I know how offensive minstrelsy is. I know, but I never actually saw it as something because I don't know. Maybe they just did the right amount of satire to make it work
Well,
or whatnot.
I'm glad you said that, Laurent, because obviously I am not of African descent, so it's not like I have a right to say it. But as like I'm kind of a minority, right? When I
Hmm.
watched that movie, I also saw that as a blatant satire. So like
Yeah.
when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I see what they're doing," versus like, "Oh
Right.
man,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
blackface." You know what I'm saying? So like I don't know, maybe it's because I deserve to be canceled 1,000 times over, but I didn't see it as, being tone deaf. It was poking fun at people being tone deaf, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you deserve to be canceled, Stephanie, then I mean, I should have been canceled like 5 years ago, I guess. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah, so there's that. So yeah, I'm sorry if I offended the Disney, Star Wars, or Nintendo people
you did.
just
I'm
now
very
with what
offended.
with my harsh stuff. But living my entire life being a Trekkie and getting the ire of the rest of the sci-fi community, even though Star Trek is the best.
When did Star Trek begin getting so woke, Laron? That's the
Star
argument I
Trek's
see
always been
online.
woke.
That's
Star
the
Trek's
argument I
always been
see.
woke. Like
Yeah,
no, like the stupid ass fans that are saying that just have I guess we're never paying attention to Star Trek because like Star Trek has always like been like a political discourse show. Like it's not like
yeah.
every single episode's political discourse, but like yeah, like there was an episode, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield. It's probably like you guys have probably seen pictures for this from this episode where you had like two men. One half of them was black and the other half was white.
Mm,
Yeah, and it was basically a discourse about racism because like you had people that when you looked at them like they looked the same, because half of them is black and the other half is white, so like that. But the key difference is that you're either black on the right side or black on the left side. And you know what? It's funny because like I remember like when I was a kid watching it and watching reruns with my dad and the guy was like, "I am white on the right side," and my dad just started like he just started dying laughing
mm. It's
because
funny.
like because like that line right there just highlights the racism.
Yeah, it's funny. I dated a girl of mixed race for a while. I've talked about her on the show before, but like she would always say man, if I tried to tell somebody I was black, they would just laugh at me because she was,
Oh, was
you know,
she was so fair skinned she passed for a white person? She's like
yeah.
Halsey, like
Well,
Halsey.
her how did it go? I think her mom was black. Yeah, her mom was black, and her dad was like Irish,
Mm.
and
Damn, like the Irish had the dominant genes. Shit.
yeah, she was pretty
It really
she
does depend. I mean,
yeah
and I feel that
she she
us
al-
us halvesies, if we're not fully looking like one or the other, we don't count. We
Hmm.
don't count.
I can't ever tell really like you being of Asian descent. Like there are some days when like the features kind of come out, but most days, like it's like oh, she a white chick. Get your basic ass out of here.
Me and my pumpkin spice latte will walk right out of
Yeah.
here.
It's Han Solo season, everybody. You got the vest and the coffee and the boots and the. You ever seen
I
that?
don't do
You ever seen that
Uggs.
meme?
I don't do Uggs.
No.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. There's like these three white girls just standing there and like these like a black kind of vest and leggings and boots, and like they kind of look like they're dressed like Han Solo. And the meme's just like it's Han Solo season, everybody.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
Oh man, I wish I could find it. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's funny how like I love when TV shows and stuff like have like some type of political discourse and stuff like that. Star Wars has been doing it a lot more recently, like
Yeah.
it's very subtle and stuff like that because like I haven't watched Andor yet, but the inclusion of like LGBTQ stuff, has been like it's a hallmark that like my boyfriend was like, "Hey, like when you start watching this, let me know because I want to watch it with you." Because he doesn't just run the Star Wars, So like the fact that he said that, I was like, okay,
Mhm.
okay, we can do this. I haven't watched it. And, Mandalorian's back on tonight, and I'll probably
Oh, does that
watch
start
that this
tonight?
weekend. Yep.
Oh
Well,
no.
today's the day. Today's the day.
This is the way. This is the day.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So there's that. But right now, season 3 of Star Trek Picard's going. So like, I'm getting up early in the morning to watch Star Trek. Early in the morning because I have to be somewhere by 7:45 in the morning. So I gotta. So as soon as we clock out from this episode, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I'm
As a matter of fact, I need to take my night meds.
my night meds.
And by night meds, I mean my blood pressure medication.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I obviously can't think back to the Traffic Thunder thing. I probably don't have a valid opinion on all that. I thought that movie was bad when I watched it. So, anyway, good times,
Well,
everybody. Good times.
I guess I need to once again throw a disclaimer out there. Just because I'm a black person, I cannot speak for every black person. So I'm not saying that you should or should not feel some type of way about Robert Downey's role in Tropic Thunder. But at the same time, I can tell when some shit's funny and when it's time to take some shit seriously.
I do have to say, he did look like a black person in the movie.
See, that's the thing, right?
The makeup
because
was,
the makeup was pretty convincing.
yeah. So I'm just saying that as
What? I think that's also what helps sell the role because
Yeah.
like if it looked obviously blatant or fake or whatnot, people there probably would have been some people like getting their panties in a twist about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyways, blackface bad. Everybody, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
It's bad.
That's true.
Bad. Although White Chicks is a funny movie. If you're gonna go the other way. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Terry Crews is. I can't even think about Terry Crews in that movie and keep a straight face.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushMedia and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support. Man.
Oh man.
What are we talking about tonight? I have no idea.
I did have a topic. I did have a topic, but I don't know. Because we haven't had a really serious topic, here on After Dark for a while. Like we've kind of been just say anything and see what happens, stuff like that. So I
Uh-huh.
kind of wanted to bring it back real fast, given that it's the 1st of March. I had a topic out here, and it was asking, what's the worst thing you've done to a significant other, where you changed how it handled, where it changed how you handled yourself for all other relationships going forward. And there is a side note here. You cannot include dumping somebody unless it was a majorly epic breakup. I mean, like, you broke up with them you stood them up at the fucking wedding, something. I even stood them up, like made it down the aisle, and I was like, no, no, like, did the Steve Rogers thing? No, I don't think so. you know, it's something like that. Like it's a heavy topic, for real. But I also feel like, as adults, as mature adults, I feel like as mature adults, like, like, you don't grow as a person if you don't sit back and reflect on things that you may or may not have done to, like, somebody that, like, either loved you unconditionally or put, like, implicit trust in you and stuff like that.
No, I agree, and it's in a sense an uncomfortable topic, not in a criticizing way, but it that is what it is. It's an uncomfortable topic, and I can see how many people, generally speaking, would never want to openly admit or acknowledge what they do wrong. It's quite common for people to like to point out what other people, their partner or ex-partner, has done wrong in the relationship. Um, that's just generally speaking. But if y'all want, I can start. I'd rather just kind of get
Okay.
that over with. And I hope you guys don't judge me after the fact. But like I own up to the shit that I do.
Mhm.
I really don't have a lot of shame. I just hope that for anyone that listens, A, I hope no one in my, family, my work, or anything has ever listened to the After Dark, just in general. um, but yeah, so things that not I've done to treat a partner poorly. So I've been in some pretty tumultuous earlier relationships due to my lack of self confidence. So I actually would really do anything and everything to be the perfect or ideal partner, at the expense of hurting myself or changing myself. But there are two instances where I was just a horrible person, and
Mhm.
for reasons. So the first one was my first rebound, so to speak. So you can see where this is going. My first real rebound. Or no, second rebound. Anyway, it's a rebound thing. The theme was rebound, right? So I would treat the person not as well because that person was just filling the void in my chest, in my heart, right? So I did not treat that person with the same respect as, the relationship prior. And I remember one in particular. This and he was the sweetest guy. I actually My first ever boyfriend, this was his older brother. Long story short, I dated the younger brother. It's like high school dating, like, oh, we go on supervised parent dates or whatever. And, we like kissed and that's it. And he dumped me that summer, blah, blah, blah. Turns out that entire time, the older brother always had a crush on me. It was very cute and it was adorable. And in college, my boyfriend at the time dumped me, and I was always in touch with this older brother. So he came over and comforted me when I was all heartbroken, and we ended up, dating. And I always thought good of him, and maybe if things were different in another world, maybe we would have ended up together. But because of me coming from a really bad breakup and having this super nice and attentive guy that's willing to kind of cater to me while I'm heartbroken. Bad combination because I was drinking a lot.
Mm.
I was a little out of control. Now, in part, it's because I was in college, so I'm already in an environment that was conducive to partying. I had no responsibilities, but it went from like maybe college drinking to like I had a problem, like, at that time, a problem drinking. Like, I would need to get tipsy or drunk whenever I'm out with him. Like, I remember one time he was just gonna take me to a shopping plaza where the movies were, and I was drinking straight from a gin bottle while he was driving. And
Oh, wow.
I look back on that and I'm like, "What in the fuck?" Well, I'm surprised he didn't say anything like, "What are you doing, Steph? Like, that's why are you doing that? Like, that's nuts." Um, and in retrospect, I'm like, "That was a horrible thing for me to do to that poor guy." He really liked me. He treated me like gold, and all I did was just drink nonstop whenever I was around him. Clearly, it was a me problem, but he didn't deserve to be put through that. We obviously end up breaking up, and uh, learning from that, you know, I should not really do rebounds. That was lesson number one. And the drinking thing is just a whole different kind of issue, but that was a lesson of kind of not toying with other people's emotions just to make myself feel better.
Mhm.
So that was big problem number 2. Now the second one is much worse, and I don't think I've ever actually openly admitted it to anybody except for like maybe my therapist and that partner in itself because I'm not a good liar. I can't lie. I am not a cheater, but I have cheated once. And obviously, in my opinion, that's probably one of the worst things you can do to your romantic partner is to cheat on them. We can go down a long rabbit hole of whether, emotional cheating or physical cheating, to what extent is cheating. But just to keep the story short, I did cheat on the partner towards the end of the relationship, where in my mind, I had mentally checked out and thought that this relationship was over anyway. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. So I might as well just do it. Cheated on with an ex, also a horrible idea. And it, the action overwhelmed me so much that literally the next day I called my partner. I was crying. I'm like, I need to tell you something. So I fessed up immediately. But it was the worst feeling I've had. I felt like a really terrible person, just absolutely breaking that person's trust. Even though I wanted to end it with that partner, I still felt like, I still shouldn't have done it. I regret it to this day, man. I always I'm always afraid to tell any person that I am dating moving forward. Do I bother telling them that I had cheated on a person before? Because
Mhm.
I want to be transparent, but B, then you might open the can of worms because some people have that mentality of once a cheater, always a cheater, which I mean, kind of can be a relatively accurate saying, but like I went the majority of my life not cheating on a single partner, and then I just cheated with the one. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so that lesson was it don't matter how bad that fucking relationship is. You end the relationship first before you get involved with anyone else.
Yeah.
So I did some pretty not nice things. And trust me, I'm the kind of person where, I acknowledge it, I recognize it, I'm very sorry for it, and obviously will not repeat such offenses, but
Mhm.
I made some big boo-boos.
Yeah, yeah, cheating is rough. I did it once and I never do it again. That and I was this was like in my early 20s, right? I mean, this was like, you're dumb and young and make mistakes, but I was like, I don't know, I was this was after like, so I mean, I brought it up on the show before. I was in a relationship with a girl who passed away, and after that I was like really angry at a lot of things, and like I kind of took it out on I didn't want to be alone, but then I would just be like a terrible person in any type of dating situation or whatever. And so, and I think that anger spawned from how angry her sister was at me as
Mm,
opposed to, her being gone, although that was pretty anger. I was angry about that too, but you know, I I would treat every relationship like it was just nothing, like it wasn't anything to me, and that's a terrible way to be, and you shouldn't do that whatsoever. But I was dating someone for a little bit, and then I would just like, I was kind of working a lot and going out a lot and doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and that ended poorly, and I realized that, later that that was just not great of me to do. I mean, just, obviously cheating in general is awful, and I've been cheated on, before and since then. So I've been on both sides, but it's just, oh, it's awful. It's I don't know. Especially when I was younger, I'm just not proud of the things I used to do or say, or, whatever. Just to, I don't know. I didn't want to get close to anybody, and I guess hurting people was the easiest way to push people away, if that makes sense.
Do you also think
Yeah,
it
that
was
makes
like a
sense.
sense of like self-sabotage?
Yeah, probably.
No, I only
Cause
say it because I know it from personal experience.
yeah, no, I mean, I also like for a long time felt like the situation was that, when she passed away, like I blamed myself a lot, on top of other people blaming me, and obviously, I came to learn that that just wasn't true, and life goes on and life moved on, and I'm very happy with my wife and everything, and then, the the one relationship after all that I decided to get it, like, okay, I'm gonna change my ways, whatever. I'm gonna I'm gonna try again. It's time. It's been a few years. I should probably try to move forward and be a better person and whatever. And then that person cheated on me, so that
Mm,
was really fun, and that was that was the last major relationship I had before my wife, right? And I don't know, I attribute a lot of who I am now to my wife being very understanding and patient and kind, and going through a lot of growing pains with her just on a personal level.
yeah,
um I mean, not that we would fight a fight or anything, but like there was a lot of things that, like, I used to have a lot of night terrors and
Mm,
nightmares and stuff because of things that that happened, and and they would happen while I was like staying over at her place before we moved in together, and like little things like that. I'm like, after a couple months of that, I just knew there's nobody else that's going to tolerate this. That there's something here, and I don't know. She did a lot for me personally, and it changed it. I attribute to a lot who I am now to how my wife and I's relationship evolved before and even after we got married, and
hmm
so,
mm.
but yeah, I mean, especially in my early and mid 20s, I made a lot of dumb mistakes and a lot of, awful decisions involving women that I'm not exactly proud of, or, should be proud of. Nobody should be proud of, but, I mean, not that I like, did, did, canceling type things to people, but like, I mean, cheating and dating multiple girls at the same time with no serious kind of intention, that's not, leading people on. That's not a great thing
yeah.
to do. Don't do that, everybody.
Mm.
So, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's my,
I'm always a bit big on kind of karma. So I'm an understanding like, well, just a matter of time where I kind of get my comeuppance. But I'm like, is there any way to atone for it so I or get a comeuppance in a different way?
right.
um, but
Yeah.
but again, just gotta own up to it, I guess.
You know, that does bring that you did bring up a question that I was going to ask, because like also like also like when I was in my 20s, I actually cheated on like one of the very serious relationships I'd had at that point and stuff like that. And it was and I guess for me, like, it wasn't even that I was just trying to go out and do it. It was more like, like shit had kind of like gotten to my head, because like in high school and stuff, like, like I was a fucking nerd, so I was undateable, and you get grown, and it wasn't even like I was like anything special, like, once I got out of high school and stuff, but like people started showing interest in me, so I kind of liked it, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's kind of the thing. I never got caught. Well, actually, I never got caught by the person I was in the committed relationship with, but I did get caught by the person that I was cheating with, and stuff like that, and it was one of those things where, like, luckily nothing major happened to affect my relationship and stuff like that, but like, it was one of those learning situations for me, and like, it was like, I don't understand how people can juggle multiple relationships, where nobody knows about each other and stuff like that,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Especially
so I
now.
I was like I was like that's just not for that's just for the birds, but yeah, like so here's a question, because like the because like my ex-girlfriend, like, she never learned about it, and I never volunteered the information. So I guess the question I want to ask you guys is do you think do you think, if you have not been caught, do you think you should mention it? Or actually, actually, no, I'm not going to make it that hard. Future relationships, yeah. Like, should you mention that, like, you were kind of unfaithful, in a previous relationship and stuff like that, or do you feel like that's just inviting a new headache to the relationship?
Oh,
I mean, I think you should be truthful, but I mean, I think anybody's gonna say what if they really like someone, they don't want to mess it up, so you're not gonna tell them right away, right? I mean, I think that's, but then you kind of struggle. Well, how long is too long? And then do you tell them anyway? Like that's I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I
It's
do
hard.
think obviously it's going to depend. But for me, and I don't know if this will make me sound like a shitty person, but no, I probably will not offer up the information because I never had a pattern of cheating. It was
Mhm.
isolated.
Hmm.
Um, if they ask, I probably won't want to lie about it. And then I will, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if they ask,
Yeah.
I will tell the truth. Absolutely. Lying is never good. But I hate to say it, at least for my situation, I'm like, I don't honestly feel like I want to offer that information up because
Mhm.
it, because I know myself and I know I can be honest with you guys and you guys know I wouldn't be bullshitting you because there's no incentive for me to bullshit you. Like, I know I'm not going to do that again. So, but
Hmm.
I'm not saying my way is the right way. That's just kind of, and maybe I'm a coward. I don't know, but I just,
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're really intending on making something work, I don't think you n- need to kind of go in deep about the situation, right? Unless it's explicitly asked about, right?
right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I everybody has a past, everybody makes mistakes, and I think if you again, if you learn from those mistakes, I think I have learned from many mistakes I've made in past relationships and non-relationships or whatever you want to call them, right? Like you know, I think if you go in well intended, then I don't think you need to like openly share that information, especially as if you're older, like, and it happened, like, I don't know, when you're an immature early late teens, early 20-year-old, right? Like, I mean, that's if you're like in your early to mid 30s and you're dating someone, or you know I don't think that that's relevant information on how you view a relationship now too.
Mm, that's a good point. Mature
I've
age of
always
maturity.
I've always felt like, people shouldn't be condemned by their past, unless it's something like, you know, you're a Nazi, like, there's probably there, I don't think
Mm,
there's coming back from that, but I feel like people should not really be like judged by their past, unless they have a pattern behavior that is still existing in the present and stuff like that,
mhm.
because I feel like in this day and age, people are too quick to judge,
Yeah.
and like for something you did when you were like 15, 16, 17 years old, like, and like, you're in your mid 50s at that, by the point that someone knows you, like, is that really a thing to hang them for, stuff like that,
Right. Yeah.
uh, I, I I deal with so many gray areas when it comes to life and everything, that, it's like, man, like, if I harped on any one thing long enough, I'd make myself insane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like I think you sometimes that's you can do that too with like jealousy, and sometimes I used to get in my own head a lot too, where like, oh well, this person's probably doing this to me because I wasn't secure with myself too.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
Oh
that
yeah.
also is something that, oh well, this person's hot and way out of my league. She's probably doing this to this person, and so maybe I should have one
Hmm.
foot out already. I did.
1 foot out.
I mean, I used to go into every relationship like that, like 1 foot out, because I don't know if this person intends to stick around.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, sometimes the uncertainty of like what somebody else is doing to you, like
Yeah,
like can be the worst.
yeah. It's
It's kind of on topic, but it's veering off just a little bit. I hope I can ask it because it's semi-related. Like especially when it comes to trust and potential cheating or whatever. So it's in that vein. When is it, or is it ever okay to check a partner's digital device of choice?
Oh, oh God. You know what? I don't even know because like like there's this old saying like if you look hard enough you're gonna find something, you
yeah.
know, and the moral of that story is like if the person is perfect, you're gonna go out of your way to find something to make them imperfect and stuff like that, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so like I don't want to live in a state of denial, but at the same time, it's like, like if I ask the question and you say no, then I'm going to take you at face value until I find out that you're lying.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's not. I mean, and I'm not gonna go on my high horse. I checked a guy's phone once, but then after that I felt horrible, and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna do that anymore. Um, where was I going with that? Well, it was for a different reason. It wasn't because it was cheating. But anyway, still, it's a privacy thing.
Uh,
Nowadays, I kind of go with kind of what you're saying. I'm like, well, if they pass your basic checks, like if they answer their phone, do they look like they're trying to hide it from you? Like just body language or like certain things like that. Like I don't need to go and invade your privacy. I can tell just generally speaking how you
yeah.
behave when you get messages. And also, if you're acting suspicious or feel unsure, maybe that's just a bigger issue than just
Mhm.
looking through the phone, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I don't know. I never checked anything because I don't know. I don't know. I just never did. I guess. I
I
Part
wonder
of
if
me
it's a
was like, if
common thing.
I mean, I wonder if
It,
I was
it,
just a
it is common. I think we hear enough instances about it. There's got to be a common thing.
yeah. I think I just didn't want to find something. I think, you know,
Yeah.
which is weird because
Well,
how I do the rest
I
of
have one
the
of those brains that kind of tail spins. So
Hmm.
yeah,
it's one of those things like like if I start looking and snooping, like it's gonna end badly for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
And also like I'm not like my very nature is like I'm not trying to create trust issues with my partner. So like I don't want to start introducing a behavior that gives them trust issues.
Hmm.
yeah. So I don't know. I just never did. I just always just had my own trust issues, so I didn't ever have to do.
Hey,
Uh,
we are our own worst torturer.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Iran, I mean, how about you with your experiences in relationships? Anything that you weren't particularly proud of, or
Well, definitely the cheating for sure.
oh, sorry, well, yeah, anything else?
But in all honesty, like being a bisexual male, like I think the one thing that bothers me more or less is like like sometimes I just choose not to be honest, with people I'm dating about like my sexual orientation and stuff like that because like for some strange reason bisexual men are just not like attractive.
Not attractive?
Like
What do you
well, when
mean?
I say not attractive, I mean like they like people like will real fast like make like declare you undateable as a bisexual man because like there's so many stigmas behind bisexuality in the first place. Like people say like like oh you're just confused. You're trying to
Oh,
think you can't decide like your sexuality, and then like there's always well you're just looking for an excuse to cheat. Like if you're in a relationship with a female, you're gonna like step out with a male, or vice versa. You're in a relationship with a male, you're gonna step out with a female and stuff like that. Um, you
yeah.
know,
I imagine it's easier to tell a male partner that you're bisexual than it is a female partner. Also,
it is,
as a
it
male,
is, it
and
is,
that, Yeah.
It definitely is. And you know, like I've had more women I'm dating. I've had more women I'm dating have problems with my sexuality to the point where I don't disclose it than men.
All right, well there you go. Yeah, because yeah, for some reason, yeah, I don't know why, but I can see how for whatever bizarre reason they'd think like, oh well, that means you're just looking for, like you said, an excuse to step out on a guy, which I don't get that aspect of but being bisexual, because also as a bisexual, just because I am attracted to two genders doesn't mean I'm like two times likely to cheat. Like it's
Yeah,
just it's math that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Don't be terrible. Moral
Or
of the
you know what?
story.
If you do a
Grow.
terrible thing, just learn from it. That's all you can do. Own
Yeah.
up
mhm,
to it and learn from it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you know, like I guess this is the part where we give the advice. You know, like own up to it. You know, like everybody's human. Everybody's human. Like like we are the sum of our mistakes, just like we are the sum of all our achievements and stuff like that. So take everything in stride. It's a lesson learned and stuff like that. But like if you feel like you've created a trust issue with your partner and stuff like that, if it's something that hasn't wholly broken like the system for you guys, like like you can always talk it out and like work through it. Now, I'm not saying that like only like a very small percentage of people like walk away with their relationship being like on the same standing as it was. Like you may still wind up staying with your significant other and stuff like that, but
Hmm.
only a very small percentage of people wind up walking away with their relationship being the exact same as it was after these revelations happen. But you know what, this is how people grow, and this is how people grow, and this is how people figure things out.
Yeah, you know what else I want to add, talking about like what are some of the worst things we've done to significant others. I've just learned, generally speaking, that we as humans, and I don't know why, I don't know if it's a comfort thing, but I feel like we are more likely, again, it's a generalization, more likely to mistreat the people closest to us than
Oh yeah.
strangers.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's why, a lot of relationships start off in that honeymoon period. You guys, not you guys, like people out there will treat their date like gold and whatever. But once you start that maintenance phase, then if you don't pay attention to your own behavior, you might, kind of not be treating that person very well.
Hmm. I think it's because people kind of like settle in.
Mm,
Like when we first start dating somebody, we always try to put our best and proudest foot forward and stuff like that. And we're always minding our p's and q's. Like we're trying not to bring up like have our very personal red flags show up to them, to
mm.
the other individual and stuff like that, because like every everybody can look at themselves in the mirror and immediately like figure out their own red flags and stuff like that. And if your red flags make you uncomfortable, then you're already thinking and trying to basically protect the other person, in that regard and stuff like that. uh Hang on a second, I gotta step away for a moment.
Uh oh.
I see, especially probably the not previous, like the generation above us. I don't know. I see how some married couples treat each other, and I get it. If you are married to someone for a long time, you're gonna do the old married couple thing where you might quarrel. That's not what I'm talking about. But I've seen either how some husbands talk to their wives or wives talk to their husbands, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, can you guys be a little bit nicer to each other? I don't know. There's a difference
Right.
between like little husband wife arguments versus just treating people like absolute garbage. I've seen some married couples that I'm concerned about.
Yeah. That's definitely. I've seen it too. Especially grandparents too.
Mm,
That's a generation that's like, boy, that was a time.
yeah,
So yeah, LeRon looks concerned.
I know. I hope everything's okay.
Oh, I just learned something work related. So like, yeah,
Okay.
Oh, bad,
I
good,
have to deal with. I have to deal with
indifferent,
that, huh?
indifferent, good, bad, terrible,
Bad.
still
Oh,
bad. Uh-oh. Like yeah.
sending you positive vibes that the bad will turn into good soon.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yep.
Oh,
A plus job. You are great.
well, this was speaking of great, that was a great topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It's nice to have a heart to heart once in a while amidst the lighter topics. So thank
Yeah.
you. And you know what? It's a bit therapeutic too. Like I said, there's very few people that I've actually openly kind of admitted that transgression to. Just because, it's something that it's very shameful. Like, I
Hmm.
definitely don't want to advertise it either. Um,
It's always hard to talk talk shitty about yourself, to
well, yeah.
lack of a better term. So
Oh, yeah. And especially with stuff as serious as like maybe a cheating or something. I mean, people can judge very harshly on that. And I don't feel like you guys are judging me, which is nice.
this is a judgment-free zone. It's
Mhm.
basically Planet Fitness, but without the
The ugly purple and
working out.
yellow
Yeah.
and working out, yes. Which side note, I tried HIT for the first time the other day and I really fucking hated it. Just just so you know, I hated it. This is coming
Mhm.
from someone who runs 4 days a week and does pole. I hated HIT. Sucks.
What is this now?
High
I ha,
intensity, what is it?
Oh.
Intensity interval training.
interval training. Yeah.
Where you like work out super, super hard so your heart beats really fast for like a minute or 30 seconds, and then you're supposed to take a break, let your heart settle for 30 seconds. Then you
Mhm.
ramp it back up for another 60 seconds, and you do that for like 10, 15 minutes. So the
Mhm.
whole point is like getting your heart rate up, then down, then up. But the reason why I hated it is because I was YouTubing some ideas. Because basically it was snowing and I couldn't run outside. And there was one where it was this like someone in their 20s with their makeup on, like ripped to shreds, and they did 10 minutes straight of high intensity whatever with no breaks in between. So I had to pause the video every 2 or 3 cycles just so I could breathe. I'm like, oh, either I'm out of shape or this person
Mhm.
is a robot. Sorry. Just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah. It's I man, when I used to do training for like football and stuff, that was man. I don't miss that.
What our bodies used to be capable of doing.
I know. Now every time I stand up off the couch, I'm like, oh my god, my whole body's dying.
Yeah. I make that old person grunt. Ugh.
Yeah, right. Ugh. Anyways,
Anyway,
hi, LeRon.
Hey, I'm just trying to verify something. Don't mind me.
it's all right. We can wrap it up.
Yeah, we can
All
wrap it.
right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got very distracted. I'm sorry.
That's fine. It happens.
All right. Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and end the show right there. I want to thank you all for hanging out, checking in with us. As always, all the information for how to get in contact with us is in the show notes. Definitely consider being a patron of the network, and that way you can wind up getting episodes of various shows early and things like that. And on behalf of my co-hosts, Corey and Stephanie, we're going to say good night. We love you, and please come back and join us again for another episode of Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the network, where we talk about things that aren't always content friendly for the other anchor shows. So have a good night, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.